Hi, all of you. Gil. So, an update video about the layoff stories, my job. Well, anyways, this is categorized, this video is categorized as in my layoff stories because it's still, my job is just how you call it, a temporary job, supposed to be. I don't know yet. I don't know what it'll look like. Speculation says that it'll be busy for the rest of this year, which it's gonna be. They asked me or us if you want to if you want to volunteer for overtime for the rest of this year. I mean, it was gonna be for just like 2 weeks or 1 week. It was originally gonna be for just 1 week, and then they extended it for one more week, which I'm doing right now. But now they extended it for the rest of the year. So and then I have a coworker there that says that he was there. He had been there for about a year. He's a temporary as well, and he says that that he was working there for like 3 months, and then they called off him. I guess the assignment ended, and then he came back. I guess he came back just like a month ago or so, a month and a half maybe, about the time when I got hired there or when I started doing that job. So he just basically says that they just called him out like on January sometime. So that would kind of make me think that maybe it would be busy just for the next couple months, or at least like the rest of this year. I mean, that's the way I think. I mean, I speculate that. But anyways, but so as of now, I mean, I do know that I worked 6 days last week for 10 hours each day. I mean, and apparently it's voluntary. I did not have to do this overtime if I didn't want to. We could work just 6 hours a day if we wanted to and not work on Saturday. I mean, I think pretty much everybody else, everybody in my job went with the either 6, 8, or 8 hours, or they just did a part of the 10-hour day, and pretty much every one of them did show up, or half of them showed up on Saturday, but they only did like 6 hours, or they only did 6 hours. Everybody left after like 6 hours because that's kind of like the minimum required, supposedly called, but apparently I volunteered to stay for the full 10 on Saturday, and I was like the only one there. I was the only one of the whole group that did the full 60 hours, But I don't think I want to do that anymore. I mean, I kind of don't think I want to do that because it's taking away time from my family or time at home, and plus night shift, doing it in the night shift, like right smack in the middle of the peak of the hours that I like to be home at, like starting at 2 o'clock and going home at 12 o'clock midnight. I mean, it kind of sucks, but I'm just gonna stick with it for now because I know I could change the shift. I could change the shift eventually. I'll just wait. But I mean, I just want to put a good record on myself, by doing all this stuff, like the hours, like the 10 hours a day for 6 days a week. But this Saturday, I'm not gonna work. I mean, and then I don't like the guilt trip that I get for myself when I say that if I don't work on Saturday, then I'm gonna miss out on $300 because that's kind of like what I would actually be missing out on, $300 because of not working on Saturday. But on the other hand, though, it can be agony to be working on a Saturday. Most people don't want to work on Saturday. Like, who wants to work on a weekend? That's supposed to be like the time of family, family time, like weekends, especially from 2 o'clock, from 2 o'clock p.m. to like maybe 6 or something. Those are like the peak hours of when we want to be home at, but to work on a Saturday from through those hours, like I did it last week. But this week, I'm just gonna do the 10 hours a day for 5 days this week, and then I'll just take Saturday off. And then I'll probably alter my schedule since we're not mandated to work the full 10 hours. I mean, so I asked for more of the layoff stories, like this video is all about, like, strictly on how we handled a layoff, like on how the average person handles a layoff, or what kind of life he has after he got laid off. And some people like want to know. Some people are curious about how people go about it, or like what does the average person go through when they get laid off and stuff. And then, well, these group of videos that I have up here tells you everything about it. It's a vlog. It's only a vlog. I mean, it's not like something where I'm asking for anything, It's only a vlog. Just get me that, remember that. I mean, so anyway, so this is just what it looks like. I mean, what things look like in me. People would wonder, like, for an example, some people in my old job, they would probably be wondering, I wonder whatever happened to them. I wonder how this guy's doing. This guy that I remember that used to work here, but got laid off. And I wonder how he took it, or I wonder what's going on with him, or I wonder, I mean, how is his life? Some people wonder about it, and then this is the whole purpose of these videos. It's just for fun. I mean, it's just for fun to make these videos about layoff and stuff. Anyway, so for the quick summary, I got laid off in May. Nothing happened initially on the first 2 months, but then after 2 months, that's when I started to make an adjustment on my spending habits. Then after maybe like 3 months, I had a lockdown on my spending. And I was spending only what I needed. And then, of course, I had my savings that I was using, the money that we saved for the rainy day. Apparently, it did its job. And then, of course, like along the way, I was looking for jobs and everything. And I was wanting to get something different. I still, by the way, I would still love to work in a place like in a hospital setting. I still would love to do that. I mean, I still would. I mean, I would like to do something else. I mean, other than what I'm doing now, that warehouse work. But the warehouse work is the easiest job for me to find, and I figure I have to work. I gotta work. I mean, so I just went ahead and went back to the warehouse, driving a high reach forklift, so I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna see, I'll just keep doing this. I mean, this job looks good. It looks promising, at least for the rest of the year. I mean, but I have not tried to see if I should get hired permanently or not. But I mean, if someone out there was gonna tell me you want to work here permanently, then I probably would go for it. But under one condition, and that would be that I would want to go in the day shift. I want to go day shift. I don't want night shift, but I'll do night shift for a little bit. But I mean, I know I'm going to want to do day shift. And then, but now, as of now, in the last month of making money, like in my new job, I've been making pretty decent money. I mean, a lot more than what the EDD offers. I mean, so for the vlog of the day, what this guy has been doing on what this guy's life has been like after he got laid off. But now this guy got a job 4 months later. And so now what I'm doing now that I got a job, and I'm making pretty good money now. I'm making more money than my EDD, so twice as much, as to be exact. So at this point, my lockdown on spending has been lifted. I'm no longer on a lockdown, but now I'm using money to do things that I want to do or I need to do. For an example, like my mercury, I have to get it smogged, and I got to get it registered. I went to the DMV yesterday to get information about how to get it out of P&O, or Plan to Non-Operate. They told me I just have to pay the next year's renewal. Well, they told me that I need to pay the registration for this year And since it's already less than 2 months away for the next year's, right? I have to pay that too. But if I want to use a car now, even if it's only 1 month away from the renewal date, I would still have to pay the full year of this year if I want to use it. So I figured that I would just wait till January to go ahead and just pay the next year's renewal and not have to pay for this year. I mean, by the way, there will not be any penalties. But that's an example of what I lifted my lockdown on spending on. And then, of course, I'm doing things like fixing cars or buying parts that I need for the car. Or I made a little bit of buying a little this or that, that I can do now. So I've been able to lift that up. I've been able to lift my the lockdown on spending now. So yeah, but as far as like the insurance is concerned, I still don't have it because it's too expensive. It's too expensive, and plus, this job is not. I cannot. I cannot. How I say it. This job is not secure. I mean, it's not secure, and then I don't want to be budgeting to get insurance and everything. I don't want to be paying $600 a month in insurance because that's how much it's gonna be. Well, but then I saw $300, but the thing is, I probably wouldn't even qualify for the $300 since I'm working, because like the more money that we make, that more money you have to pay for insurance, which is stupid, But I mean, if I want to get insurance, it's gonna be like $300 minimum of $300 a month, but it'd probably be even more. I mean, and then see, it was like because if I was gonna have to pay for insurance, and then how do I know how this job is gonna be? I mean, because it's not secure. It's a temporary job, so I mean, it's not secure. So like, what if the income stops after a little bit because we don't know? I mean, I don't know. It fluctuate. My income might fluctuate, and then it's gonna make it difficult for me to budget with the things like that with insurance, because I don't have it. I mean, because it's expensive, it's really expensive. And I would get insurance as soon as I would know that my job is secure and everything. So that's the story. Because I just want to be sure that I have a steady income before I could. But of course I probably might get penalized. But what can I say? I mean, what can I say? I mean, I kind of don't have a choice. I mean, this whole system of healthcare and all that stuff is all whacked up, man. Because like they require us to have insurance, but when it's out of budget, I know I heard $600 in one place for insurance a month, and that's a month. I mean, and I think that was just for me only, and then my kids. I mean, like we have to get insurance. My wife, I think, is working on that right now, like to get insurance for Natalie, or like my little one, but Clarice, the bigger daughter, she's 18. I think she can get insurance on her own. She can get it on her own, so she's gonna do that on her own because she's 18, and she would probably qualify. I mean, because she's 18. Well, qualify for Medi-Cal if she uses her income. If we just take off Clarissa on our taxes or something, Anyway, so that's what's happening. So in my job. So as far as my job is concerned, I like it. But I just don't like this. I don't like the night shift, though. But I have no choice. I'm gonna ask next week. This next week, or like after this week finishes, when I do my 50 hours this week, then I'm gonna ask them about if I could go to first shift or even graveyard. I would rather do graveyard shift than the shift I'm doing now. I'm down for that. So yeah. So like I say, this story, layoff stories. So well, I was still laid off on my old job, but I have another job right now. I mean, I still don't know how things will look, but I mean, it's hard to tell because I hear one thing from one person and then I hear another from another person, and then, but the way it looks, and then speaking of my job, it's like another, it was like another group of people who was hired, and probably only like one quarter of that group remain. Yeah, I know. I think it was like a group of 10 or something, and only like maybe two or three remain. Yeah, and so like, I still don't really get what it is, but I don't know, but I mean that's the way it is in my job right now. I mean that's the way it is. You want to hear that fart sound? This sound? That's when I'm rotating my phone on the plastic cover. Yeah, it makes that sound because I pivot the phone on my two fingers and then I rotate it like a camera, So, and it makes that sound, So while I'm at it, I already put the Christmas lights on, but I'm not gonna turn on the lights yet. I just put it up, so that way I don't have to do it later. I mean. And then now we're starting to put up some Christmas decorations, even though it's a bit early. But we like the spirit of Christmas, so I mean, yeah. Well, it's funny because last night I had a dream that I was on some kind of business trip and everything, and then it was for the weekend, right? For the weekend, and so I was there. And then and then I felt like it was something nice to happen, business trip and everything, right? Felt like it was a nice thing to happen and everything. But going on to the middle of the weekend, that's when I started realizing in my dream that I was so far away from my family, like because this business trip was like in Northern California somewhere in my dream. Or some type of thing like that. It may not be a business trip, but it was some type of thing like that. So I had a dream about it, and that I was like, while I was in the middle of it, like in the middle of the weekend, and being way over there, like being way over in Northern California somewhere, and knowing that it was a weekend, and being way over in Northern California, and then feeling like I'm far away from my family, and then feeling sad, and suddenly I started to feel sad that I mean, but that I would rather spend my time with my family. I'd rather spend my time at home, than to be there. I mean, I felt like in my dream. So yeah, I mean, I was just feeling sad. I felt really sad because it's on the weekend, right? I was away from the weekend because of doing this business trip or something. And then I'm feeling really sad. And then in the middle of the weekend, while I was in this business trip that I thought I was liking, and then it hits me, it just hit me hard to see that, I mean, that I'm not home, and then wondering what my wife is doing, like my kids, what they're doing while I'm away, because normally I'm home on the weekends, and I feeling really sad, and it just hit me hard, just like that, it hit me hard, and then that was it. That dream ended. I guess a dream, and then well, the obvious interpretation of that dream is my job. It's a fact that I worked last Saturday, from 2 to 8, 2 to 12 p.m. Well, night shift in general. I mean, I think that's the interpretation of my dream, because like my job, when we work in a job like this, I mean, like we're being taken away time from family. I mean, I felt like that's how I felt, and that's how I feel. I mean, but anyway, I mean, I know that I could change the shift. I can do that eventually. I mean, but for now I'm good. But I mean, that's the interpretation of it. Like But actually, you know what? The other part of the interpretation is the fact that it's voluntary. Well, because my job is voluntary, or the working on Saturday is voluntary, meaning that I don't have to do it if I don't want to. So, about the fact that the dream, the interpretation of that dream is like the fact that I was on a business trip, and then I was thinking that is that something that I want to do? You know, like make money instead of family time. I think I would rather make memories and not money. I mean, it's like there's a saying there that like when for some people who may be working a lot of hours and stuff. I mean, would you rather make money or would you rather make memories? Like if you decide not to work that many hours and you just decide to stay home with your family, you may not make money, but you're making memories instead. And I feel like making memories is better than making money. I mean, so in this case, for this weekend, I decided I'm not going to work this Saturday because I'm not required to. I'm not going to work this Saturday. So, I think all the rest of this year, I can work overtime all I want the rest of this year. I can work 60 hours if I want to, but I think I'm probably not going to do it. I'm not going to do the full 60 hours, especially on the weekends. You know, I'm not going to do weekends, but anyway, so what's going on in my life. So, but the money is pretty good right now. So, I mean, the money I'm making, it's giving me a chance to catch up on some things that I want to do, buy things that I need to buy, like fix cars or maintain cars, or put money back into savings. I'm doing that now. I mean, it's working out pretty good right now. But so anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna regulate. I'm gonna kind of like regulate how much time I want to spend with working, and well, since all the hours is voluntary, we only need to work 6 hours a day for 5 days a week if we want to. But anyway, so that's what's going on. But I'm gonna be asking for a change of hours, or probably might even ask the agency if they have a different job to try out different jobs. It's my opportunity to kind of like try out different places, especially. Well, you know what it is, especially like if I can have the agency try to find me a job that's close to where I live, that's close home, so I don't have to spend the hour commute. Well, on some days it takes me an hour. I mean, when there's traffic, it takes me an hour to get to my job, but without traffic, it takes me a half an hour. It takes me a half, but I would like to see if maybe I want to try. It's an opportunity still for me to to try out things, because it's an agency. It's not a permanent job, and it's not. It's like I don't have my strings tied to that job or anything. So it's an opportunity to try different places, and everything, and see. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna go ahead and do that. But in the meantime, I'm gonna be asking to change the shift. If I could change the shift, I'm down for graveyard. I'm down for that. I would rather do graveyard shift than to work night shift. Yeah, I'd rather do that. I'm going to see what I'm going to do. So that's my update on how things look. So that's how the layoff stories. So that's an update. All right, I hope you liked this video and everything. And I'll see you on the next one. Today is November 13th, I believe, 2024.